So, you're in Krakow, you want to go to Auschwitz, you think, what the hell else am I going to do there? Well, there are actually a few good things you can do. One thing, which we're going to do later, is Schindler's Factory. Not really sure what it is, we've just been told it's an extremely eye-opening experience, so we're going to go and do that. There's also the salt mines, which are not too far from here. You can get there by tour bus, most people do tour buses and stuff. What we've done is hired a car. It's actually extremely cheap. We got it for 3 days for £44. Accommodation here in Krakow is pretty cheap actually. We managed to get a 1-bedroom apartment, which cost us £207 for 3 nights. That's pretty good. It's quite a nice place. Yeah. Quite luxurious. Oh, I wonder what's happened here. Trees falling down.
Is it?
I think so. Look at this. Looks like trees falling down, doesn't it?
Is that really Warren having?
There's people in there. Not quite sure what's happening here. Oh no, the tree's meant to be like that. God knows, maybe they just camped up in there. Oh, it sounds like a bit of a crackhead actually.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a crackhead. Nah, all good. So yes, accommodation. You want to make sure you're staying near the Old Town. That's the place to be. And actually, some of the other areas around are quite run down. A lot of graffiti, a lot of boarded up plots, a lot of derelict buildings.
That was a nice little tune.
Timed that perfectly, didn't I?
That church is a paid actor.
Yeah. Paid the bell ringer. Right. What's it saying?
It's cold.
So yes, staying near the Old Town is what you need to do. Speaking of the Old Town, it's actually very nice. It goes on for ages as well. If you've seen our Augsburg video from Germany, this is very similar place to that, just on a massive scale. It's huge, this place, and the history behind it is very interesting as well. It was actually built by German architects way back in like the 12th century, and it's all still here. The main square is still here as well. That's the oldest medieval square in Europe that's still left. They've got the big town hall in the middle. We actually went up there, didn't we?
Yeah.
We've actually already been up there, and a bit of a waste of time.
That was a waste of time.
It was about
another waste of money that we've done.
Yeah, it was a bit of a waste of money. It was about £3 per person. I thought it'd be a cool view up there, but you can't really even see much just outside out of a window, and yeah, it's a bit. Also, there's the Basilica Church, is it? Basilica Church.
Basilica.
That's also about £3 to get in, but that's actually really good in there. I thought it was pretty spectacular in there. Did you?
Yeah, I did.
That was actually sick in there, so I would recommend doing that one. You can do all this on the spot. You haven't got to pre-book it or anything. You literally just turn up. There's little ticket offices outside places. You just pay them and just go in and do what you want to do. But we're just coming into the square now. Loads of eateries, and it's very like European outside seating. It's actually really nice. A really nice place.
It's so cool.
Yeah, it is. This is the oldest medieval square in Europe. Now, I don't know if you know about World War II, but when the Germans invaded in World War II, they actually had a special place in their hearts for this place here. That's why it's completely untouched. Nothing was demolished at all, because they knew it was designed by Germans back in the 12th, 13th century. So they kind of thought, well, this is ours, we just take it back. But what they did start to do was they started taking down statues and anything Polish, like this, for example, destroyed it, and started putting up their own Nazi statues and icons around the place, hung all their Nazi flags off the edges of these buildings. And the town hall I was talking about is right here. We did go up there. It's a shit view though, it's not what you think.
It's pretty mad though to think that like the Nazis were just wandering around where we are.
Yeah, I know, it is pretty mad to think. They were all here,
Not even
you know,
that long ago.
they had all their events and their, you know, yeah, it wasn't that long ago, was it?
No.
It's a very, look how grand it is. This here is a big market. You can get all sorts of little souvenirs and bracelets, all that sort of jazz. You know, all the market stuff is in there. Do you see what I mean? It's like it's very generic stuff in here. It's like stuff you would find at any market. There's nothing really too unique. Nothing like handmade goods, you know, like when you find a real good market where they've got really unique stuff just from like relative to that country. But in here, it's all just your generic souvenirs and stuff. I don't really get souvenirs, but if you do want to, you're probably going to be paying a premium in here as well, to be completely honest. So I think in the summer, this would be a very nice place to come and sit down. You've probably got all sorts of actors and stuff going on out here. Such a big area. You could have all sorts of stuff going on. I bet it's absolutely buzzing here in the summer. But yeah, just mad to think how long this has been here for. And the reason why it wasn't demolished or damaged at all was because the Germans saw it as their own. So they didn't want to damage it. It was like their prize. I'll walk the other side of this market, and the market's in the middle of the square. So this is just half of it. And you've got the big market here separating it from the middle, and then you have all horses and carriages here. You can pay them to take you around. You've got the Basilica Church I was talking about here. Unfortunately, it has scaffolding all over it right now, but... And then this is the other half of the square. See how big it is? It's just huge. Everyone feeding the pigeons. Shouldn't really do that. That's what, you know what they should do? They should get some hawks. Get a load of hawks here and just start culling these, because they're just a f***ing pest. They're horrible. I hate pigeons. Flying rats. Probably have said that on another vlog before, to be honest, but I haven't changed my mind. People feeding them and that, they're f***ing scum. Get some hawks here, man. That'd be cool. I'd much rather see hawks flying around here. Do you know what I mean? Be way better. Not these.
Hawks don't like cities, they like countryside.
They'll like cities if they learn how to hunt these. I see some video before, some geezer with a hawk, and he goes around at night and just lets his hawk go, and he goes straight for the pigeon, kills them.
Really?
Yeah. What do I think about Krakow? What do I think about Poland? It's not really very cheap, to be honest. Everyone was like, oh yeah, go to Krakow, it's really cheap. The hire car was cheap. The hire car, £44 for 3 days, is very, very cheap. The accommodation, £207 for 3 nights, for 2 people. For what we got, it is very good as well, I would say.
I think it swings around about the parking here is expensive.
Yeah, parking. We've been absolutely ripped off on
but
parking.
I think the food is relatively okay.
It's a bit cheaper than at home.
Yeah. But it's not like Southeast Asia price, which is what I saw online. That is the same price as Southeast Asia. That's incorrect.
Yeah.
It's an affordable European break, I'd say.
Yeah.
City break.
Yeah, I would agree. This old town goes off down all these alleyways as well. It's absolutely huge. Surrounded by a park area. For other historical reasons why there's a park area around the outside, but what?
It used to have walls, but then the walls crumbled.
Yeah.
And they, instead of having walls to protect the old town, they built a park.
Yeah, it's a greenery and trees and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. That is what she said.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a great place to walk around. It's not like you just come here and go to Auschwitz. You can come here and you could spend a whole day walking around here. Like there's mad buildings everywhere. There's tourist attractions everywhere. Some of them are a little bit gimmicky, as they always are, but also one more thing to bear in mind is the top restaurants around this area get booked up. We've been really lucky because we've been eating dinner really early. We've been getting a table, but other than that, everyone's been struggling to get tables here. So if you know a restaurant that you really do want to come to here, you're better off pre-booking it. Pre-book your table for a certain time instead of just trying to rock up and think you're just going to go in, because we found a lot here where you just can't do that. It's too busy. This is the low season as well. It's ain't even high season. In the summer, it must be absolutely packed here. I reckon it goes off. I reckon summer's the time to come here, to be honest. It's like just completely set up for it. As you say, we've walked around the whole square now. You see how there's just restaurants all around the outside. Plenty of tables here, obviously. Outside, if you want to sit out in the cold. Some of them have got these little fire heaters, but the actual proper good restaurants, which are dotted around, like, you know, proper actually in the old town, not just in the square, they get really quite fully booked. They're all very small as well inside. All these buildings are real small inside, aren't they?
I will say though, there is a lot of good choice for restaurants here. Like, there seems to be some amazing restaurants here. A lot of steak places, Argentine, like you get all sorts of cuisine, French, obviously Polish, Italian, Argentinian, Vietnamese.
But,
like, there's loads
but what you should do is try the Polish food when you're here.
Polish dumplings are really nice.
Yeah,
I don't like dumplings, but Polish dumplings are they're crispy, they're fried, and really good.
Right, we found this little shop here, right? They've got little rolling pins with patterns on, and I never knew how they did this, right? Look, they've got these. Got these little intricate patterns in the wood. And that's how they make these biscuits. I never knew that. I never thought about how they make that. They're sick, they've got these little spoons in here as well. Oh, good. So they get the pan in the top. These. Oh, I like that one. That was cool. I might have to get one for Mumsy.
It's actually maybe something she'd use, one of your gifts that she'd actually use.
Yeah, I know. What? I'll get a good gift.
Yeah, like the teacup. You know.
She doesn't like it.
No.
Yeah, I'm actually terrible. I'm actually terrible at gifts. This is a good idea, though. I think this one will be a good one.
I like this one.
Little chicken. 30. That's the one I'm getting.
I'm getting this.
Little cats on it. Crazy cat lady. Your mother? No, and you. Polish donuts.
So good.
They are so nice. We were told by Nat was told by a Polish friend. I actually don't even have any Polish friends. Nat was told by a Polish friend to try the donuts. They're so soft. Flavour's mad. It's like a banana donut with a lemon centre. Well nice, man. That is banging.
I've got rose. It's actually really nice. The texture. Can you see?
Yeah, you can see how soft it is. Like Krispy Kremes on steroids.
They're not greasy.
They're not greasy at all, no. Got a nice sugar coating. Yeah, they're well nice.
I feel like I could eat another one.
You want another one?
Yeah.
She's been going on about these donuts ever since her mate told her about them.
Well, no, they're just Polish people. Their baked stuff is really good. Like their cheesecake, and they've got like all of these nice baked things, well fried. And I just want to try them all. I've got a sweet tooth, guys, haven't I?
Yeah.
I'm a sugar monster.
But you also like to eat sweet before savoury.
Yeah, I do.
Which is weird to me. I don't know about you guys, but sweet's got to come after. Just why it's dessert. It's meant to be had after.
Dare to be different.
Schindler's Factory. No idea what it is. Actually got told to come here by a friend. It's a big surprise. Interesting, intriguing. Don't know what it is. I haven't even seen the film Schindler's List, but it's something to do with that apparently. We're gonna go in soon, 4:20. 4:20? 4:40 is my lucky number. Yeah, we're gonna go in 5 minutes and have a little look around, see what it is. We've got a guided tour. I would recommend pre-booking it if you want to come here because the queue's massive.
And
it is not going down. We got queue jump with our tickets. How much were the tickets, Nat? 55 for both of us?
Yeah.
£55 for both of us. It's £27.50 each. Don't even know what's in there. We'll find it out. I'm very tired now, so we've had a very long day. Oh, Nat feels fine now. She's up, so good for her. Well, there we go. Schindler's Factory. Very, very interesting in there. I was not expecting it to be like that. When we first saw it was just another museum, I thought, oh, I'm a bit museumed out today. We've been walking around listening to people talking about history all day. But that was very, very interesting. A lot of Nazi history here, how the war went down, and how it's not really much about Schindler himself. It's about Krakow's role in the war, how the war started, how it goes on, the psychology of what they did to the people here to get the people against each other in the war. Like, it's very, very interesting. Like, they had a Jewish police force, for example, who were used to keep the Polish people in line. So then the Polish people started thinking, well, hang on a minute, the Jews are the ones doing us. So then the local people turned against them, just like what the Nazis wanted them to. Very, very, very interesting. That was just one little bit. That we were in there for an hour and a half. And
Again,
the tour guide was very good. She was so knowledgeable. She knew about everything. So yeah, I would definitely recommend that one. I didn't actually think I was going to either.
No.
I thought, oh, this is
Me and Dad got in there, we looked at each other like, oh, we're so museumed out, but that was so interesting. And it's such a like creative museum, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, everything is like so different, really cool.
Like, for example, she was saying like one of these rooms here is going to have a real spongy floor. And you go into you're walking around, you're waiting for it, and then you go into a room with a spongy floor. So, but you feel like you can't trust that floor when you stand on it, and they use that as like to help make you think about what the local people thought here all the time when they spoke to people. You know, they didn't know who they could trust, they didn't know where the trust lies, and oh, it was just very interesting. It was sick. Yeah, I'd recommend that one. Schindler's Factory, man. Pre-book it though, because that queue was insane. Yeah, that was good. Right, what should we do now? Jewish neighbourhood? Is that where the ghetto is?
No, the remains of the ghetto wall are not far at all. It's a
Really?
9-minute walk.
Have we got a ticket on the car? No. Result. I can't read the parking signs, so I didn't know if we'd get a ticket there, but... Oh, my milk's in there. Yes, I'm still looking for milk everywhere we go. I'm going to have some milk. Do you want to walk over to the ghetto and see the walls?
Can do.
They had like an area here called the ghetto. And it's basically an area where they kept the Jewish people. And they weren't allowed on any public transport. They had to wear armbands so everybody knows who's a Jew and who's not.
They had food rations.
They had food rations. They weren't allowed wages. They would get rations from the government. All their wages, basically, that if they worked for somebody, the government paid the company. It didn't go to the Jewish people. And then the government in return gave them food rations of 250 to 300 calories a day. That's all they were allowed living in the ghetto. And it just went into loads of information in there. But if it's something you want to do, learn about that sort of history here, that is definitely a good one to go to. That was sick. Matt, what was your most memorable fact that you learnt in there? The most memorable, the most emotional, or just I'm not going to say your favourite fact because a lot of it was very dark, but what stood out to, what facts in there stood out to you of what happened here?
I don't know. She said so much interesting stuff, but the most harrowing, I think, is when she said that they would line up babies and then shoot them all in one line and just leave them bleed out for hours because they were not worth one bullet to kill. Like, that's crazy. Yeah, that's
the Jewish babies.
Absolutely horrific. Yeah.
How they would go and take the Jewish babies.
Yeah, line them up and bang.
Line them up in the street and shoot them on the floor and leave them there.
Yeah.
And nobody was allowed to touch them.
Yeah.
And then the Jewish police force would come and clean it up and take them away.
Ship them in a little cart and then...
Yeah,
awful.
That is a mad fact.
Yeah. Very sad day, but very interesting.
Yeah, it's
like
pretty emotionally heavy, the information, isn't it?
Yeah, I feel like everyone should, it's such a big part of history, I feel like everyone should educate themselves on that.
Yeah.
And I definitely want to watch Schindler's List now.
There was a lot of like Nazi memorabilia in there as well, wasn't there? Yeah. Very interesting photographs of the Nazis, the police in the streets, and yeah, it was very interesting. And I find it interesting, really, how the psychology, or like the things that they did to people in the day-to-day, like the propaganda they put out to put people against each other. Like, you can really relate to a lot of that stuff these days.
We should have asked how she feels about the Ukrainian war.
Yeah, well, they they like started like Germanizing everything as well. So in your train stations, there would be like words would be slightly different, like more like a German language rather than a Polish language, and they would just do it very gradually, little piece by piece, take away the Polish culture, and just make it all a little bit more German, and before you know it, they're everywhere, and you're like the enemy. They said about how they would take them out of here and just put them in concentration camps, take them out of here and put them into death camps, and just literally a death camp is not even, there's nowhere for them to stay there. They get taken there, told to shower, which they put them in the chamber, bomb, gas them up, and then that's it, they're gone. So, it was very interesting, very interesting. So yeah, we're gonna go and see the ghetto now anyway. I got my lovely milk. Something to brighten up my day. It's a very dark day, isn't it? Full fat milk. Get you big and strong. There we go. This is it. You see this? See the top? That wall there was surrounding the whole ghetto. And the Jewish people had to live inside there with their food rations and nothing else. It was split into two, A and B. B weren't even allowed to work. They had like little trap doors as well down the bottom. Well, it wasn't a trap door, it was like a drainage door. They used to send the children in to go and get more food. But if the children got caught, they were killed instantly. So it was dangerous, but that's the only way they could get extra food in. Otherwise they had 250 calories per day, per person, which is like nothing. Yeah, and you see the shape of it? Shaped like tombstones. They did that purposely. So they're trapped in there, starving, in a wall, shaped like their tombstones. My battery's gonna die. But that is what it was like. That wall went around the whole ghetto. Anyway. What a mad piece of history. Anyway, if you come here, go to Schindler's Factory. You will not regret it. It's fucking amazing in there.